It's very handy. So we can say, hey, the subscribe function takes a function that this is a net new run, in which case we generate a brand new ID for it. And then we create our actor with that associated ID. So once we've created our actor, we now want to make sure that that actor understands that it has to save itself to the database every time it makes a transition. And this is where XState's actor subscribe function comes in, which is very handy. So we can say, hey, the subscribe function takes a function as an argument here. It's got a hook in there for next. And so I'm saying, hey, on every next transition, make sure that you get a snapshot of where you are now, persist that state to the database, find the old record by its workflow ID here. This is the MongoDB call, and just replace it all together with the workflow ID and the newest persisted state that we have. And I've got upsert set to true here, just in case we actually don't have a previous record. It all together with the workflow ID and the newest persisted state that we have. And I've got upsert set to true here, just in case we actually don't have a previous record with that same workflow ID, and this is a net new run, then we know, hey, if there's not one, just make one for us. Okay. We've also got some logic in here to make sure that, nothing goes wrong. And if it does go wrong, we report it. Another thing I'd like to talk about in this actor.subscribe function here is that we have two other hooks. So we've got the next hook, which is great. We also have an error hook, which is signed up to happen whenever something goes wrong in our actor. We can have a means of reporting out to the outside world. And so that could be anything from sending an email to an admin. It could be, if it were instant report, throwing an error all up. It could be anything of that sort. And we also have a complete hook, which is what we want to make sure that we do when the actor is actually done. It doesn't need to progress on this workflow anymore. And the way that we determine that, again, is with our final state in the workflow. And so at the very end of defining that, we start the actor and we return it back to the calling function, which lives on our route. Okay, so you can see that if we go back to our index here, this is for creating a brand new workflow. If we want to actually up function, which lives on our route. Okay, so you can see that if we go back to our index here, this is for creating a brand new workflow. If we want to actually update that workflow, you can see it's very similar, except we actually care about the event. So we get the durable actor, same way we